Hi, I'm Brad. Welcome back to this series, 21 Advanced English Words from 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. It's a great book. Now, I want to say thanks to everybody who gave me feedback on Reddit and everybody who subscribed to these videos. It really helped me understand what I was doing wrong and what I can do better. And one of those things is I'm going to describe the words in a lot more detail this time and really give you an understanding of how to use these words in the appropriate context. Again, I've chosen words that are relatively common in technical English and in spoken English. If a word is in the book that is really not used, I just won't put it in these videos. I'm going to do 2 videos for this chapter because there's a lot of difficult words and I don't want to leave you unable to understand the book. So, let's get into the words and I'll do another part with the rest of the words after this video. Okay, enjoy the video. The first word is mere and merely. Mere is the adjective and merely is the adverb. They both mean just or just a few. We use mere like this. The internet has changed the world in mere decades. Means the internet has changed the world in just decades. For merely, we usually use it with I am. I'm merely a teacher. The next word is on the verge of. On the verge of means on the edge of or just about to do something. But we use it for big things like I'm on the verge of a scientific discovery. We wouldn't say I'm on the verge of eating dinner. The next one is a short phrase that's quite difficult, so I wanted to cover it. Humans retained an immense edge over machines in cognition. Okay, it's quite a long, difficult sentence, but let's break it down. Retain means to have or to keep. It's a technical word and it's not often used in spoken English. You can use it like retain staff in your business, or you can use it as, for example, you can build a retaining wall in your garden which stops the soil coming down the hill. It retains it, keeps it in place. An immense edge over machines. So immense just means big, huge. Edge means advantage over. So if you're playing sport and you say our team has an edge over the opposition, it means our team is better than the opposition, basically. And the last word in the phrase is cognition. Cognition means thinking. It's a technical word for thinking. So, humans have retained an immense edge over machines in cognition. That means humans, up until now, have kept an advantage over machines in thinking. The next word is hack. Hack has 3 meanings. The first is to cut something with a big knife or an axe, like chop, chop, chop. That's hack. The other one you probably know, which is to get access to a computer system or an email address or something that you're not supposed to. For example, I hacked his email account means I got access to it. The other definition, which is a new definition, means to build or modify or improve something. And it's quite common in the entrepreneurial scene. So we might have something called a hackathon where everybody gets together and like builds stuff, invents new products, stuff like that. And that's called hacking. So in the book it talks about technologies have allowed scientists to hack humans. And that kind of means get inside and know, understand, but also improve and adapt, I guess, to make humans better. And it can have negative meanings, which means influence or manipulate people, or it can have positive meanings, which mean improve and fix. Algorithm. Algorithm is a process or a program. In the book, they often talk about the Google algorithm. And the Google algorithm is the program that it uses to figure out what results to give you in the search. So if you type in carrot, the algorithm finds everything related to carrots. Algorithm can also mean a biological process or program, or a simple mathematical or mechanical process. If you've ever done a Rubik's Cube, you use algorithms to solve it. So turn this one twice and then turn that one once, then flip it over and turn that one. That's an algorithm, a series of steps. The next word is bluffing. Bluffing is used in poker to mean when you bet big with a really bad hand to make the other person give up. So it's acting strong when you're weak, or acting like you're going to do something when you really won't. In a work situation, you might say to your boss, "I want you to give me a raise or I'll quit." And this might be bluffing. You won't really quit. You're just trying to act strong. If your boss says, "Okay, fine, quit if you want to," that is calling your bluff. So it's basically saying, "I don't believe you. You do what you want." Calling your bluff. The next one's a sentence, and the words are quite easy to understand, but it's a difficult sentence. This makes the difference between an AI and a human worker one of kind rather than merely of degree. So that's that word merely again. It's a difference of kind rather than just of degree. So what this means is that if it was a difference of degree, that means that an AI and a human are the same thing but on different levels. Okay? So one human being 10% smarter than another human would be a difference of degree. A tractor being able to do things that a human just can't do, that would make the difference between a tractor and a human a difference of kind. To the letter of the law. To do something to the letter of the law means to do it exactly as the law says, or exactly as the procedure says. It's quite a common expression, and it's also common to say to do something to the letter. For example, he followed the procedure to the letter. Means he did it exactly as written. Immaterial spirit. Immaterial means not made of material, not made of stuff. Spirit means a ghost or your soul. So immaterial spirit means your soul, basically. Motor skills. Motor skills are the ability to move your hands in a fine and controlled way. When I was at high school, my art teacher used to say, you need to develop fine motor skills. That means you need to get very accurate with your movements of a paintbrush. But it's not just paintbrush, it's also catching a ball or anything. These are your motor skills. So it mostly refers to your hands, it doesn't really talk about your feet. You wouldn't necessarily call those motor skills. Hurdles. Hurdles are the things you jump over in a race, like this picture that you can see on your screen right now. When we talk about hurdles in life, we're talking about obstacles. For example, I overcame every hurdle to graduate from university. Overcame the obstacles. Flesh and blood. Flesh means meat, basically, muscle. Flesh and blood means a real person or a living thing. Sometimes we'll say, I was there in the flesh. That means I was really there myself, not just watching or not just having someone tell me about it. So if we talk about a flesh and blood person, we're talking about kind of a real living person who was there. The next word is channeling. Channeling. So a channel, the literal meaning is like a river, but the part of the river that the water flows through. So water will flow through a channel. The other really common meaning is the TV channel. So you can change the channel from 1, 2, 3, whatever. When we talk about channeling, we can talk about people channeling emotions or channeling spirits. In the book it says we tend to think that artists are channeling emotions. This means that artists are feeling these emotions and putting them onto paper. So they are taking the emotions from one place and making them visible to everyone. We also sometimes talk about channeling spirits. So for example, I'm channeling your father right now, and I'll be, you know, those people on TV that pretend that they're, or maybe it's real, that act like they're in contact with dead people and they're channeling them, so the dead people are talking through them. The next word is manipulate, which basically means to control something. Manipulate is most commonly used to talk about people using emotion to control other people. And it's usually quite a negative word. So someone who manipulates people is seen as a very mean person. So let's do some examples. My ex-wife uses the children to manipulate me. That's a classic sentence that people would say, like, that's just an evil person trying to mess with your head, trying to use something to control you. Another way we could use it is if somebody comes up to you on the street and asks for money and says, oh, my dad's in hospital, you know, my auntie's sick. They're saying those things to manipulate you into giving them money, to control you. Turmoil. Turmoil means a lot of instability, like a war, for example. The two main ways that we talk about turmoil are war and emotional turmoil. So if you're really, really upset and you just can't control your emotions, that's emotional turmoil. It's something you feel rather than you wouldn't really say it about someone else. And war is the other. We talk about political turmoil as war. The next word is serendipity. Serendipity means a lucky accident, or to find something that you weren't looking for. We generally use it for things like love, or maybe some new life career or something big. Like, we don't really say it's serendipity when you're walking down the street and you find $1. It's more like if you're not looking for romance, but you meet the perfect person at the perfect time, and that's serendipity. Wallow in self-pity. So the main word is wallow. And wallow literally means like a muddy hole that a pig will sit in. It's a noun and a verb. So a pig will wallow in mud means just like get in there and bathe, kind of. So we say wallow in self-pity means you just feel sorry for yourself. You sit home, you listen to sad music, you eat a lot of chocolate, and you just bathe in those feelings of feeling sorry for yourself. That's to wallow in self-pity. Groom. Groom has many meanings. Groom, that you probably know, is like a bride and groom at a wedding, the man. Another meaning is to brush or to clean, like a horse or a dog for a show. So you groom your horse for the show. But you can use it to groom yourself as well. Like, you've got to make sure that you groom yourself nicely before a job interview. It's not that common in spoken English. A use that's more common is to kind of train or influence someone to become something. So if you say, I feel that my father is grooming me for Harvard, that would mean he's trying to change me into a person that would be good at Harvard. And you can see it has positive and negative feelings associated with that. Another very common use for groom is for a pedophile, which is someone who wants to have sex with kids. They will groom their victims. So the process of grooming means to, send emails online or send messages online and try and convince this young person to meet up with them. So it's a crime, grooming. So you want to be careful when you're using that word, to groom, because that's probably the definition that will first pop into most people's heads, is that process of grooming a young person for a pedophile. The next word is volatile. The scientific meaning for volatile is easy to change state. So easy to boil from a liquid into a gas. We use it for people and for situations that are easy to change quickly. So for people, if someone is volatile, it means they have a short temper. And it's common in written and spoken English. Oh my God, she's so volatile. We can use it for situations around war or major political change. So you might say the situation in the Middle East is very volatile, which means that it could change into war at any time. And one last definition for volatile is for stocks or shares in the share market. So you might say something like, Bitcoin is a very volatile stock. So it goes up and down really, really quickly. The next word is gig. Gig means a concert. So I'm going to a gig on the weekend means I'm going to a show or a concert. There's a new meaning that has become more and more popular over the last 5 to 10 years, and that is a one-off job. People will talk about the gig economy, which is small jobs that you do once and you have no commitment to, and they also don't have commitment to you. So some people say the gig economy is ruining the job market because they feel that people are left without a stable job. For me, I did a lot of gig work at university, cutting wood or helping someone move a house. And for me, it was really, really good because you could get some quick cash without having any commitment to a job. So there's good sides and bad sides. The next word is coal mine canary. Canary is one of these small yellow birds. Now, canary in the coal mine is an expression for an early warning. So back when they used to do coal mining in really dangerous conditions, they would take a canary down into the mine with them, and because the canary used oxygen faster than the people did, the canary would die if the oxygen levels were running low, and then everybody would know it's time to get out of the mine because there's no oxygen down there anymore. So when we talk about the canary in the coal mine, we're talking about an early warning for something bad that's coming. For example, droughts and floods are the canary in the coal mine for climate change. So that's the last word for part 1 of chapter 2. I'm going to do another video for this chapter because there are still quite a lot of difficult words that I want to cover. Don't forget, if you've got any questions or any comments at all, feel free to comment below and let me know. I'd be happy to cover them in a future video or just respond in the comments. Okay, see you later.